Oh, and shout out to Nurse Terry Irving. She says, "Set, that's the point. Just like you redacted to only see the clips, Dems want everyone to only see the Obama part." Yeah, that's exactly what it was. It was like they only wanted them to just see the Obama part and think it was just mainly about the Obamas, but really the entire video. Well, he's sending shots. It sends shots at everybody. And, people be acting like Trump personally made these videos, and that's going to be furthest from the truth.
The TDS is wild. Lock up the pedophile, rapist, draft dodger, bankrupt real estate sales associate Trump. Good God.
Oh, and shout out to my man Gaiman.
He said check Venmo.
Gotcha. I thought I did turn the notifications on that. Oh, and shout out to my man Gaiman. He says, "All right, coach, let me in. I got you. We're going to go ahead and go in on this."
Okay. Monty is a habitual line crosser. No, I'm not. I am not.
This is from a declassified FBI intake form on the Jeffrey Epstein child sex trafficking case from 2020. Enclosed are the following items: graphic capture of viral video. Now, obviously, we haven't seen a lot of these videos, but there are some descriptions in this file. So this is from 2020, July. Dale Martin, date of birth, redacted, cell phone, redacted, residential address, redacted, called the FBI National Threat Operations Center to report a viral video of what appears to be Jeffrey Epstein torturing a young woman with a magnifying glass.
Whoa.
Martin provided the following information. Martin's daughter, Jessica McQueen, date of birth redacted, sent Martin a piece of a video of what appeared to be a young white female aged 11 to 13 years old with dark-colored hair tied down and naked. The victim is tied to the ground and spread eagle with a man who appears to be Jeffrey Epstein holding a magnifying glass with a claw and burning the victim. Martin described the video as being blurry. However, the male subject appeared to be a very large man with gray hair, wearing jeans, a short-sleeved black shirt, and white tennis shoes.
What's up? And yo, what's going on? Give me a shout out, Toe. Can you share that in Discord? The whole thing? Yeah, shout out my man Monty. And what's going on, gaming? And yeah, guys, this is gonna be a tough listen. So for those of you that ain't really down with that, I wouldn't be mad if you left right now. Just make sure to like the video.
If you got kids around, make sure they're not in the room.
This is about to get real.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, just as another disclaimer, if you get grieved easily, these files are not for you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just gonna say that now. We can talk about it and we'll be like vague about it, but don't even grieve yourself like that. Ain't nobody on this panel gonna be mad if you decide to click off now because you just can't handle it.
All right, let's get to it.
It's affecting my mental health.
Blurry, however, the male sub and burns to be Jeffrey Epstein holding a magnifying glass with a claw and burning the victim. Martin described the video as being blurry. However, the male subject appeared to be a very large man with gray hair, wearing jeans, a short-sleeved black shirt, and white tennis shoes. Martin stated Facebook would not take the video down. In the frame of video, it says Epstein. However, the video is blurry. Martin advised that McQueen did not feel comfortable reporting the information. However, her friends are still reporting it. So that's sounds like somebody witnessed something pretty gruesome there, to say the least. From Robert Trivers to Jeffrey Epstein, subject trans. It is very simple. I will compare male to female with female to male. This appears to be talking about transsexual surgeries. With greater molecular control over development, we are increasingly capable of producing novel phenotypes, more feminine men by blocking testosterone receptors or castration, and at the same time increasing estrogen production. The one blocks male features. The second encourages female features, more masculine women.
All right, make it quick, though.
So I want to go out on the record and say this. It doesn't, at this point, this should pretty much shatter the illusion that there are party sides. There is no party side no more. This put that final nail in the coffin, first of all. And second of all, this should... So any conspiracy theorist, quote unquote conspiracy theorist, a lot of people have been saying like, "Oh, I bet you guys feel vindicated." Actually, no. It's bittersweet. It's actually sweet bitter. It's like, yeah, we were right, and then the reality of like, crap.
Yeah,
we were right.
Yeah.
In the worst way. In the worst way.
It's like, yeah, we were hoping, because a lot of people don't realize this, but bro, we be hoping we wrong a lot of the time. We don't want to be right on this, and the fact that we are is problematic. I'm gonna end it on this. I'm gonna land the plane on this one, but they talk a lot about satanic sacrifice and all this other stuff, and they are diametrically opposed to Christian. Baal is all through the gospel, and God leveled complete nations because of the worship of Baal. And if y'all don't like what's happening on with these files, what y'all are finding out, that's why God destroyed every single nation that Israelites came across that worship Baal, because of this reason.
All right, let's get back to it.
Heavy testosterone dosage, incredible external effects. Heavily bearded men, you would never guess they had a female bone in their body. First kind, male to female, is 4 times more frequent than female to male. The first is attractive. He is a woman with a cock, so that if your fantasy is to suck a man, you know what, otherwise are completely heterosexual. It would be a much nicer if the rest of the organism is female, then you get the best of both worlds. So many transsexual women are very attractive and easily make money, which in turn they assert promotes their prostitution, since they have to pay hefty fees for injections every week, but they are sexually happy once you have reached manhood. Even castration does not prevent the sensation of orgasm. I'm assuming that's what it means. It says organism.
Y'all tested
Contrast the poor female to male versions. They are unhappy and lonely. They are men with mum puns, the worst of both worlds. If you like smelly masculine men, you want that hard penis that comes with the show. You do not want one of nature's more complex and variable structures, the pom-pom, that is acquired taste, and not with a man. There are hundreds of female trans videos websites. I've never seen a male one. By the way, we are now pushing the intervention earlier. So you notice your 3-year-old son has trans tendencies. So now you have to intervene with hormones. I would be frightened to do that, but who knows? So this sounds like not only some sexual fetishes being expressed here, but also experimentation with humans to see what type of trans humans they can basically create here in order to satisfy such fetishes. And then it talks about doing it as young as 3 years old. Now, when you tie this into some of the other stuff that we've seen, not only in the files, but obviously in pop culture, in schools, it seems like there was a larger agenda to normalize this and then also push this to children. And, of course, then you get into the trans issue and the sexualization of kids issue that's been a major political, cultural issue for about 10 years now. This email is from 2018, but as you can see, they were very interested. Epstein must have been for Robert Trivers to send him this email about all the different trans stuff that they were experimenting with and how they felt about it. This is an email, Jeffrey Epstein and Oliver Colomb, who appears, this is from France here. Redacted, he agrees with me. I saw that you sent me an email with a file attached, but the IT guys of the bank blocked it for some security reason. I have a private email that can be used, though, redacted. Besides, Ariane is in the Bordeaux vineyards until Wednesday. It looks like she has no phone or something with her. Sorry about that. Hope you're well. No problem. A friend that built the Beijing import asked if I knew a bank that was interesting. I thought I'd run it by you. If it were good for you, I'm not involved in any way, nor would I expect to be. Very nice of you. Where are you now? On my island in the Caribbean with an aquarium full of girls.
Whoa.
On my island in the Caribbean with an aquarium full of girls. Now, we have a follow-up to that email. The king of Saudi Arabia has a few white sharks at his Jeddah palace. I totally prefer yours. I sure would enjoy the view. As two are Russian, I guess some might prefer to them as white sharks. Now, if you pause for a second here, I don't think we're talking about sharks anymore. They say that they're in the aquarium. I don't know if they'd be in the aquarium with sharks, but maybe. I'm guessing white sharks is, it appears, code word for Russian women, maybe a specific type of Russian woman that they call a shark. This is kind of a new one here when we're getting into some new coded language, not that we've seen before, like with pizza and some of the other stuff, pasta, hot dogs, that stuff we've seen a lot. This seems to be new stuff. So it's kind of open for interpretation. Some people think it might mean that they're finding some human hybrid species, or it's just a term for some specific type or look of a Russian woman. Getting back to the email, as long as you don't have any hammerhead ones, I like white sharks. No, some are like shrimp. You throw away the head and keep the body. I like shrimp, but not so much if it's too pink, although I'm definitely more into white than into any other color. I like your philosophy. I can't even think of the smell of black shrimp. We are again in agreement. Now, again, very open for interpretation. I don't think we're talking about sharks and shrimp.
Women.
What's interesting is that we've had other emails in the files where you can clearly see derogatory statements about black people and what appears to be, different men basically saying, I don't want black women around. Whatever women that you're going to have around, I don't want any black women around. So if there's any connecting context, that's really all we can reach for here. But I don't think we're talking about shrimp and sharks. I don't think that's too far of a reach on that front.
Gotcha.
Shout out
From Sarah Kate.
It's really sad how naive you are. Sharks, ? AKA Shark Week, AKA teenage girls going into their first period. I think she's on to something. Or she, sorry.
Well.
Yeah.
To Rich Bennett, no subject. Hi, Rich. Jeffrey is asking if you can FedEx the painting he had made of the massacre of the innocents to the ranch. It's the large 9x9 canvas that we had rolled out for him to see in the entryway where they are killing babies. He wants to use it on the ranch and is hoping you could FedEx it to arrive by Wednesday. Thanks, Sarah. Jeffrey Epstein wanted the massacre of the innocents painting in his entryway so he could see it every time people walked in of them killing babies. To Aziza Al Mahdi, subject.
I was going to say, let's take a quick break so people can digest what they're hearing.
I mean, we got to keep it going. I don't got that much time, but let's keep it going.
Jeffrey Epstein. Hello, Aziza. Hope all is well. Jeffrey would like me to send you a DNA kit called 23andMe. Please let me know what address I should send it to. Thanks. Now, there are other emails indicating it seemed that Epstein was very into testing people's blood, testing their DNA. Now, you can try to figure out why. It could have something to do with they wanted to separate the the chosen people from the Goyim, the Jews from the non-Jews. It could be for other things that they were doing at the ranch. We saw other emails where they're talking about Mormon blood. So it could be some of the human experimentation, cloning that they were doing at the Zorro Ranch, and they were looking for specific blood types to run different subjects, to run different tests. But this is an occurring theme here, that Epstein wanted to test people's blood and find out their DNA. Oh, and on the pizza front, repetitive pizza code word cited 1,000 times. 1,000 times. You're hearing that. 1,000 times. Yeah, Pizzagate was real. 1,000 times pizza referenced in the Epstein files. And grape soda, I don't think we're talking about a drink.
A fizzy drink.
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't think we're talking about a drink. And of course, again, this goes back to Pizzagate, WikiLeaks emails we all remember. Or maybe if you weren't there, you don't, but that's a dark path to go down. So I think it's pretty compelling here that Pizzagate was real. From Brian Bishop to J. Brian Bishop, genetic editing continued. Other updates. Proceeding with more mouse testing at my Ukraine lab. Surgeries, microinjection, Ukraine lab. Amateur in Mississippi has been testing human sperm modification. Just fluorescent tagging so far. Doesn't work for my purposes yet. This weekend, I'm heading to a Biohack the Planet conference, is what it looks like here in this link, in San Francisco, Garage Biohacking Conference. I like to implant embryos, wait 9 months, great ending. So we're talking about genetic editing here, and there's other references to this in the files. We covered some of them yesterday, but basically they're talking about designer humans, superhumans, and how they can, I guess, manipulate the sperm or manipulate the process of having a baby or injecting the baby with something after they're born to create a desired effect. So they were clearly very much into this. They had labs in Ukraine. Now, you see this garage reference here, this garage biohacking conference. It seems like there's a difference that we can see now where you basically had, I guess, what you would, for lack of a better description, they would consider some people, let's say it's like an amateur to a professional. So it's like some people were doing it in their homes, in their garages. They had their own labs that they built in their garage, whatever, in their home. And then I guess maybe you had something in Ukraine or other parts in the world, or Epstein in New Mexico. You had professional labs. It's like this was the upper echelon. This was the elite. This was the well-funded. This had all the best equipment. And you're saying, well, this is just a garage hacking conference. Anybody can do it versus here's what we got. This is the pros. So it's like you kind of start over here, you see what you can do, and then you bring it to Epstein, and he decides whether or not he wants to take it on. That seems to be the story here with the context. So this is to Jeffrey Epstein from Redacted. Subject BBC News. BBC News. The Duchess of York is expected to appear on the Oprah Winfrey Show in the U.S. days after she was filmed allegedly trying to sell access to her ex-husband. You know, there's probably more context needed here. You know, the thing that I found interesting, okay, here's Epstein connected to the royals again, but it's like, did they really think Oprah would be their friend? It's like, that's when you start to run into like the eyes wide shut territory, or, you know, it's like, oh, you go to police, they're part of it. Oh, you go to the media, they're part of it. You know? From Jeffrey Epstein to Peter Thiel. Here we go. Brexit, just the beginning. There's a lot of other Brexit stuff. Of what? There's a lot of other Brexit stuff in here. Thiel in here as well. Return to tribalism, counter to globalization, amazing new alliances. You and I both agree zero interest rates were too high. As I said in your office, finding things on their way to collapse was much easier than finding the next bargain. So this is just part of Peter Thiel being in these emails. And you can talk about the politics of it. You can talk about the culture of it. But it leaves me, going back to what we've been talking about on the show, that the elites are expecting a collapse and that all of this is just building to some collapse. And they're just racing to the finish line, getting as much assets as they possibly can before the collapse that the rest of us will have to deal with and, struggle to survive. From Ken T to redacted, subject, young girl here in Mexico. This is from 2019. She has identified Ghislaine Maxwell as a woman who came to Richard Marchenko's home in Mexico many times in 2010 and 2011 with Nancy Marchenko to set up sexual trips for her when she was 10 or 11 years old. We know of death threats against her because of testimony she gave in 2018 against Kelly, Biden, and Wayne in the sex abuse case in Mexico. Biden and Wayne in the sex abuse case in Mexico. Right now, we have her in a safe location. We want to help you guys, but we also need to protect her, her son, and her guardian. Now, I'm not sure exactly who they're referencing here as far as they're keeping her in a safe location or what exactly that's in reference to. We don't know who Ken T is. But I think the context of this email leave very little to the imagination. This appears to be a child sex trafficking email. And then the names in it, very consequential. From Eddie Aragon to redacted, subject confidential Jeffrey Epstein. This is one of the disturbing ones, guys. And actually, that's the response. If you go back here, from redacted to redacted, confidential Jeffrey Epstein. Looks like at least 3 different names on this email, but hard to tell. Could be 2. Edward, this is sensitive. So it will be the first and last email, depending on your discretion. You can choose to take it or trash it, but this comes from a person that has been there and seen it all as a former staff at the Zorro. Assuming this is the Zorro Ranch, Jeffrey Epstein, New Mexico. The material.
Yo, and shout out to the lunatic libertarian. All conspiracy theories from the past 20 years are true. All systems are failed. And what's going on, lunatic libertarian? How's it going? Been all right.
Material below was taken from Jeffrey Epstein's home as my insurance in case of future litigation against Epstein. Sorry, no questions. Sounds like blackmail protection, legal protection. What is damning about Jeffrey Epstein is yet to be written. Did you know somewhere in the hills outside of Zorro, 2 foreign girls were buried on orders of Jeffrey Epstein and Madame G. Both died by strangulation during rough fetish sex. Here are the video footage of Jeffrey Epstein. Now, this is obviously just text in this email. Says sex video with a minor, threesomes, underage girl. Underage girl names another person here. Underage girl, rape fantasy. Girl from Bay Area, suicide attempt, confession to Madam G, audio. 7 links here. Now, we don't have these videos. I doubt we ever will, but I assume somebody does. At least who's ever emailing here has them because this was his legal protection. And then I guess this is a demand. Please arrange for 1 Bitcoin by 6 p.m. today, Thursday, November 2019, to the Bitcoin wallet address, and then it's linked here. Yeah. That's one of the more disturbing ones. Here's a text message exchange between Redacted and Harry Fish. I don't think that's a real name. It turns out that Fish is coded language for other sexual fetishes. We won't get into it. Could be a real name, but I have a feeling that's a code name. And then based off of what we see in this exchange, I think it would make sense. Sultan wants to replace bionic dick with new Swiss version. What's different, surgeon?
Oh,
You're
what
joking, I
the
hope.
hell, bro?
Nope.
Yep.
Goyam.
Time out.
I'm not even. I think that one kind of speaks for itself. We won't even. Yeah.
Well.
These are iMessages. Sender redacted. Participants redacted. It does look like what we see here is a Jeffrey Epstein's iTunes. JEE iTunes. Kid is taking placement text this week, or text next week. I gave her all the information. This is tough. The kid couldn't have done bikini wax because hair are too short. Next time, do it to her and Elena's nails. Kid will come to the house straight from Frederick with iPad portfolio. Done with Pornhub introduction.
Okay.
Sounds like we are introducing young women to the adult film industry. And I would just say that there are 2 names that have really dug into this, that are sharing this and covering this. And I apologize if I'm messing their names up right now. I believe it's Lisa Metkoviak, something like that. And then Arden Young, who got behind the scenes and did some behind the scenes content with these groups. And this is unfortunately not uncommon. It's it's like they decide what they're going to do with you at a young age, and will either send you to the industry like we see in this, or we'll send you to the island, or we'll send you to the lab, or we'll send you to the grave. From Redacted to Jeffrey Epstein, I'm a little confused what you are up to, or Ian, is up to. Are you staying with Rupert too? Can you tell me a little bit about Ian as well? Is his home base Carmel? Ian is staying with Rupert Murdoch and his wife. That's what I am up to. Probably significant considering a media reaction, don't you think? 2 redacted from Roy Hodges. Subject, Jeffrey Epstein's island. Let's go down to the beginning here. Hope you have a fabulous vacation. And then you see these are different cells. Roy cell, Stephanie cell, Daphne cell, Dr. Ting's cell. Always had doctors down there, huh? Hope you have a fabulous vacation. Thank you, assistant to Jeffrey Epstein. Hello, Dr. Ting. Jeffrey would like you to enjoy a day on his island during your vacation. We can have you and your family picked up from St. John on whatever day is convenient for you, brought to Jeffrey's island to play with his toys. They even put the toys in parentheses here. Toys. Yeah, you can only imagine what that is. And have some lunch. I have CC'd Jeffrey's island managers, Roy and Stephanie, as well as Daphne, who works in Jeffrey's office on St. Thomas. They can assist in coordinating with you. Please let us know what day would work, and they can make it.
Say that again.
Who are these assistants?
Oh yeah, bro. That's what I said. Your assistant's walking around that for some reason is not being held accountable whatsoever at all.
Who are all these people? Like,
Here's the reason why. If you find out who the assistants are, you start filling in a lot of dots. And the assistants don't just work one job in this industry, they probably work multiple. So if you end up finding out who one is or who they are, you can bring down the whole house of cards.
Yeah, because these are the people that's low key gonna like turn over and snitch. But like, bro, they did like it was in the files. They did like a whole like graph figuring out who Epstein's accomplices were, and they redacted his assistants.
Why?
I have no idea, bro.
It's all about throwing the big fish under the bus. When you're
Yup.
trying to get a system to burn down, you just, whenever you're trying to get, huh?
I am so tired of hearing that fucking line. It's about the big fish. Fuck the big fish. These are the big fish. All of these people are the big fish. I don't want the biggest fish. I want all of them fucking put in the wood chipper. That's what I fucking want.
Yeah, but sadly, our government isn't going to give us that.
Yeah,
I noticed.
apparently, we're gonna have to
I
find out
noticed.
for ourselves.
Hey, I noticed that since these files came out, the fucking riots have been on the back burner all of a sudden.
I don't know, man. It's kind of hard.
I'm so sick of, like, I can't tell you how many times between Operation Fast and Furious, between the Epstein files, between all of these government fucking cover-ups, these government fuck-ups, all of this shit, these kids that are just magically disappeared and end up on a website a couple months later. These are the big fish. These are the blights on our society. These are the reason people can't do anything. These are the reason, and they should not be allowed to steal oxygen any longer.
And then check this out: the Department of Homeland Security, it's Department of Is Department of Family Services under Biden's administration in 2023. They lost track of 340,000 children. And the lady that blew the whistle on it, she ended up dead by a random shootout or a random carjacking.
This is like
The lunatic libertarian. I guess he's trying to rub a point in where he's like, "Where are the laws, paramedic? All allowed to do."
They're not allowed to do it. No one's allowed to do things. Things happen, and then people are punished for them. That's the part that people forget. You're not allowed to do something. You're allowed to do it if there's no justice for it.
But what? But all right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and end it on this one, man. I mean, I know that was a tough one, guys. I know that was a tough one, but you stuck around. So shout out to you guys who, well, had the stomach to listen to that, because I know it got pretty bad.
I had to tune half of it out because that is
next level depravity. It's like, whoa.
And all I'm gonna say is this: for those of you who keep, and people like to say that, oh, this has nothing to do with Christianity. Yes, it does. There's a whole bunch of stuff in these files that have to do with the Christianity. Even at one point in the files, they're talking about what they're going to do with the Christians that are, quote, thorns in their sides. Okay? This is not just about their wicked depravity. It is also spiritual. Bible said it best. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against spiritual wickedness and principalities in high places.
Remember,
in other words,
hold on, gaming. Remember, like 3 months ago when we were talking about how this was a what's the word for it? America's favorite allied operation, and that we were all conspiracy theories because we pointed out correctly that Ghislaine Maxwell's fucking father was Mossad, that Epstein miraculously disappears and then pops back up. Now we're talking about religious discrimination based off of their Jewishness. We're talking about all of this we are doing nothing but getting more and more and more evidence that we need to distance ourselves from these horrible fucking people that love to sit back and play the fucking victim while they do this shit. I don't want to hear another fucking thing about the Holocaust when I see shit like this. I don't want to hear another thing about how Israel has the right to live. I don't care. I want America to punish the people that have violated American rights, that have depraved American citizens, that our children are suffering. 300,000 children that are lost. They weren't lost. They were sold. They were trafficked. They
were trafficked by the DFS. And they killed the only whistleblower in the DFS that had the balls to say something. Knocked her, her family, her assistants, and her co-worker off. One right after another. And then
also there is with the release of these files, there is good evidence that Epstein is still alive. Like the coroner report, that the picture that they showed with his fucking face is pink, warm, and dry, and he has a smile on his face. He's like smirking. He's completely alive in that photo, and he is supposed to have been dead for a couple of days at the point of that. And everybody's like, "Oh, rigor, blah blah blah." If rigor is a thing, it's not going to allow you to lift somebody's head up like this to show the ligature mark that they painted on with makeup. Just saying. Yeah,
rigor mortis, it makes you literally stiff as wood, if not concrete.
Yeah. There's a reason it's called rigor mortis. Like mortis, like holding things strong.
But like I said, bro, this is 100% spiritual. And I'm going to go ahead and say this. Yeah, y'all do owe your Christian buddies an apology. Because like I said before during the live, y'all, there's so many people where I was like, oh, well, God's kind of a genocidal maniac and this, that, and the other. This is the reason he was killing off entire nations. This crap right here. This is why he was straight up telling Israel, not the Jews, but the ancient Israelites, who, by the way, are scattered throughout the earth. They're modern day Christians, FYI. This is why he would tell them whenever they would go into a land that worshipped Molech and Baal, which, by the way, they're the same deity. He would tell them, kill everything, every man, woman, child, baby, burn the grass, destroy the livestock, leave nothing alive. This is the reason he destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. He flooded the world.
Scorched earth comes from, for the record.
You said what?
That's where the term scorched earth comes from.
Yes, this is the reason. This is the reason he did it. These files, and these files are very spiritual in nature because they hold up. So, well, they refer to non-believers as goyim. You know what goyim means? They can do whatever they want to you because you're an animal in their eyes. You're not equal. You'll never be equal. They blaspheme the name of Christ. They see everybody who's not born Jewish as literally no different than a dog or a pig. And so, excuse me, for me, the Bible is and Christianity is for everybody. All of us, and I said it to you before, Seth, correct me if I'm wrong. Christianity is for everybody. It's a message of hope for everybody. We have people like this who try to hijack it and gatekeep it. Meanwhile, they're referring to people as dogs. They're telling people that we have the right to treat you this way because you're less than nothing by your birth. They're basically trying to institute the caste system. And these files explain that. These files explained this is kind of the reason why I was hesitant on engineering. I'm going to go ahead and say it right now. I did robotics in high school, and I'm talking about like actually we designed, built, and tested different robot designs. I'm telling you right now, they scalped a lot of the work from students who participated in the international robotics competition. I know because I was in there.
All righty. We're going to go ahead and end it out on that one, guys. All right, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. This is Set with Set Media. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace. Guess we're going to have to end off on a bit of a funny.
BT, nigga. Drop 3 bombs at the end of the like a thief in the night. I send me a strike. Kidnap a op. I'm taking his wife. Me and Joe Biden are nothing alike. He fucked up and I'm making it right. I'm in my bedroom plotting on how we gonna fuck up their New Year. Send him a buck. I got your president hostage, bitch. You pay thinking I'm sending them up. Smoking on you don't know what I do for that fag. You don't know what I do for these riches. Fuck that money I got from my dad. 40 million on my head. And I wipe it with my ass. I'm a $1 billion pocket pilot. Hop out, get my man. Understand? I'm too deep in this shit. Who the fuck is Maduro? Kidnap you and you know. I tell them to come here, let's play a game of Uno. Drop 2 bombs, Uno. Just like I dropped that bomb on you know. And I cannot move on. I heard that they clicking up, I get in Majin Buu mode. And I get them all gone. And I turn your whole country to a war zone. I take you and put you in a mud hole. Take your wife and give her ass cornrows. Weapons of mass destruction. Business made, I ain't no nothing. Know that they bluffing in the discussion. Know that I'm holding the button. They got me pressing the button. Can't catch you, then I'm killing your cousin. I pop out and I'm making it thunder. Take your oil, leave you with nothing. The mind of a general, know that I'm thugging. We gon' slap before dawn, they won't know that we come. When they bring up that list, they just